In order for Mike to make decisions about his operations for his company in the future, he needs to make projections. However, before he can do that, he must understand time value of money. Time value of money means that all dollars must be valued at the same time period before they can be compared. So if Mike wants to make projections about his company, he will need to use future values and present values to find his numbers. Future value is the amount that a cash flow will grow to over a given amount of time when compounded at a given interest rate. Let's say that Mike has $100,000 in the bank and earns 10% each year on it. He wants to know how much it will be worth in 5 years. So he takes $100,000 and multiplies it by 1 plus the rate of 10%, and then raises it to 5 years. His investment will be worth $161,051 in 5 years. Instead of investing all of his $100,000 at one time, he could instead invest that amount over 5 years. If he did this, he would use the future value of an ordinary annuity formula, which is the payment, let's say $20,000 a year, multiplied by 1 plus the rate of 10%, raised to 5, minus 1 divided by the rate. This would be worth $122,102 in 5 years. He could also use an annuity due. The only difference is that he would start investing today rather than wait until the end of the year. If Mike knows how much something will be in 5 years into the future, he will be able to figure out how much it is worth today by finding the present value of it. Let's say that Mike thinks he will earn $150,000 a year in 5 years. With a given rate of 10%, he can find out how much that number is worth today by taking $150,000 and dividing it by 1 plus the rate, then raising to the number of years. It would be worth $93,138 today. Now let's suppose that Mike wants to take $10,000 out of his savings account each year for the next 5 years. With the present value of an ordinary annuity formula, he will be able to tell Mike how much he will need to put in his account today in order to be able to afford to take out $10,000 each year. If the rate is 10%, he will take the payment and multiply it by 1 minus parenthesis 1 divided by 1 plus the rate, raised to t parenthesis all divided by the rate. That means that Mike will need to invest $37,908 today to have enough for his future expenditures. Some annuities can go on indefinitely, and these are called perpetuities. To find this, we would just take the payment and divide it by the rate. In Mike's case, it would be 10,000 divided by 10% and would equal 100,000. In Mike's examples, he only used annual numbers, but he could have made payments twice a year or even each quarter. If he would have done this, he would need to find the effective annual rate, which is the amount that is actually earned due to compounding. If Mike has decided to invest money twice a year, his real rate of return could be found using the EAR formula. It is 1 plus the simple rate, in this case 10%, divided by how many times it would be compounded, 2 for twice a year, and then raised to the same number, 2. And then you subtract 1. Therefore, Mike would really be earning 10.25% if his money was compounded semi-annually.
Created using Powtoon.